Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, we bring you a story full of surprises and hidden angles that few people know about. Don't leave just yet. Just when you think you've figured it all out, there are fascinating and meaningful details waiting for you at the end of the video. Let's explore together and uncover the special message this video has for you. Are you ready? Let's get started. In the late 16th century, the daimyo Lord Omura Shimatada penned a letter to a local samurai, heralding the imminent arrival of the southern barbarian ship. For 2 decades, Portuguese vessels had been a familiar sight in Japan. Their holy men roamed the land of the rising sun, preaching of an ancient Messiah named Christ, converting countless commoners, and even Shimatada himself. But now, these royal Portuguese ships arrived in Fukuda Bay not just to spread their faith, but to trade. Among their most prized goods was a revolutionary weapon, guns. The presence of Portuguese traders, however, did not escape the notice of Shimatada's adversaries. It was the Sengoku period, a time when Japan was fractured into warring states ruled by feudal lords, the daimyo. In these turbulent lands, allegiance to the emperor and shogun had crumbled. Amid the cool autumn air, warriors of the Matsura clan gathered, ready for battle. Once favored by the Portuguese in the firearms trade, the Matsura had been supplanted by their enemies. Now, their strongest samurai prepared to reclaim what they had lost. On board his ship, Captain Major Dom Pereira had been warned of the looming threat, but chose not to flee. His decks bristled with a formidable class of soldiers, veterans of campaigns that, in the name of God and Portugal, had ravaged and traded along the coasts of Brazil, Africa, India, and China. But as Pereira scanned the horizon, he was met with an overwhelming sight: 80 enemy vessels swarming the bay. On board his ship, his crew faced an army of samurai, legendary warriors whose traditions and prowess stretched back centuries. The battle began with a thunderous exchange of gunfire. Bullets ricocheted off Pereira's helmet, knocking him back, but leaving him alive. As gun smoke filled the air, samurai swarmed the sides of the ship, braving the chaos to scale its hull. The deck turned into a blood-soaked battlefield where bullets, blades, and pikes clashed in a storm of violence. Amid the carnage, a group of samurai forced their way into Pereira's cabin and captured him. Yet, Portuguese cannons wrought havoc among the samurai ships, scattering splinters and bodies across the bay. In the end, Pereira was rescued, and the samurai withdrew. This was not the dawn of Portugal's global dominance alone. Their rivals, the Spanish, had already swept through the Americas, toppling kings and chiefs with the aid of disease and indigenous allies. Proclaiming themselves rulers of the New World, Spain set its sights on Asia, unaware of the challenges that awaited. Japanese warriors, described by the Spanish as the most formidable in the region, carried advanced firearms, lances, and iron armor, products of Portuguese craftsmanship. The shadow of Japanese influence stretched far beyond its shores. Nearly 8 years had passed since Japanese and Chinese raiders assaulted Spanish Manila. Spanish troops vividly remembered the barefoot warriors with bamboo hats and banners, reminiscent of low-ranking samurai. Though they repelled those attacks, peace never followed. These Japanese raiders, unaffiliated with any daimyo or emperor, were part of the infamous Wuko pirates, a mix of Chinese, Japanese, and Korean origin. As the Ming dynasty had long retired its grand naval fleets, these seas became lawless, dominated by piracy. Undeterred, Japanese Wuko ventured deeper into the Philippines, threatening even the heart of Spanish colonial rule. In the late 16th century, Japanese pirates turned to smuggling precious metals, but by 1580 and 1581, their activities escalated into violent raids on native settlements. Among these was the notorious pirate lord known to the Spanish as To, who had begun assembling a formidable fleet of pirate ships. To quell the rising threat, Spain dispatched several vessels under the command of Juan Pablo de Carrion. The campaign began with swift action. The Spanish flagship captured a Chinese pirate vessel, though Tizifa's fleet, composed of Japanese pirates with some Chinese and Filipino recruits, remained a looming menace. Tizifa's pirates bore little resemblance to the noble samurai of old. Stripped of Bushido's moral code, they were instead Ronin, masterless warriors whose shame had driven them to lives of piracy and violence. Their ruthlessness was soon tested. Off the northern coast of Luzon, a Spanish galley sighted one of Ifu's ships. Cannon fire thundered across the waves, splitting the mast of the pirate vessel. As the Spaniards prepared to board, the pirates retaliated with grappling hooks and gunfire. In a ferocious clash, Japanese pirates swarmed the Spanish ship, wielding pikes and swords with unrelenting fury. Though the Spanish managed to regroup, they were pushed back from the main mast, forced into a desperate stand. Raising their firearms, they unleashed a barrage into the advancing pirates, who eventually retreated to their damaged vessel. Undeterred, Spanish soldiers boarded the pirate ship, engaging in a brutal melee. The pirates fought with a ferocity that matched their reputation, but they were ultimately overwhelmed. Bloodied and beaten, only 18 survivors remained. They surrendered, laying down their weapons amid the wreckage. The Spanish fleet pressed deeper into the Cagayan River, navigating treacherous waters and bracing for resistance. They soon found themselves not only at odds with the fearsome Japanese pirates, but also with the local inhabitants, who viewed the Spaniards as unwelcome invaders. The hostility was palpable, and tensions ran high as the Spanish forces encountered fierce opposition at every turn. These locals, though unaffiliated with the pirates, shared a common disdain for the intrusion of foreign powers into their land, creating a volatile atmosphere that only heightened the stakes for the Spanish. From this point, historical accounts of the campaign diverged sharply. Spanish chroniclers, eager to glorify their victories, claimed that Tizifu, the notorious Japanese pirate lord, had been killed in battle. They boasted of vanquishing 1,000 Japanese pirates with negligible losses, framing their triumph as a resounding testament to Spanish military might. Yet such tales often glossed over the harsh realities of the conflict. In truth, the cost of victory was steep. Spanish sailors labored tirelessly to scrub their decks clean of blood, while their fallen comrades were laid to rest in hurried burials along the riverbanks. The air of triumph was overshadowed by the somber recognition of the toll the campaign had taken. The resilience of the Japanese pirates left a lasting impression on the Spanish forces. These were no ordinary adversaries. They fought with a ferocity and discipline that marked them as warriors of great skill and determination. Their defiance underscored the formidable challenge Spain faced in maintaining control over its colonial territories. In a moment of candor, the colonial governor of the Philippines wrote to the Spanish crown, seeking reinforcements and issuing a grave warning. These encounters are no longer mere jests, as they may have been considered before. The Chinese and Japanese are valiant people, and their strength should not be underestimated. This appeal highlighted the shifting dynamics of power in the region. The governor's words acknowledged not only the immediate threat posed by the pirates, but also the broader challenge of asserting Spanish dominance in the face of resilient and resourceful adversaries. The Cagayan campaign, far from being a simple tale of conquest, became a testament to the enduring struggle for control in a region where alliances, hostilities, and ambitions collided in the shadow of empire. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. If you found this story interesting and meaningful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting content coming up. Leave a comment to share your thoughts. We're eager to hear from you. See you in the upcoming videos with more unique and meaningful stories. Stay with us.